Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon, everyone. How are you? Can you hear me? Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon, everyone. How are you? How was your exams? You had internals, right? How was it? All good. You have 19 already. Let's wait for a few more minutes. Okay, okay, okay. Wait, we'll wait for one more minute and get started. I hope people will join by then. So until others join, have you been able to practice so far? Whatever we have done? How many of you have been able to practice? Type me in the chat box. Come on, come on, come on. Give some exercise to your fingers. Nobody has been practicing. Hello, 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 hello. Can you hear me? Okay, we have only one me in YouTube. Thank you, Abhilash, for the confirmation. We have 24 participants in what I say, Zoom, and nobody has practiced anything. Hello. Can you hear me loud and clear? Everyone on Zoom and YouTube? Okay, great. Let's get started. So let me share my screen. This is one. Okay. So I hope you can see my bubble screen. Okay, so let me quickly rewind and replay what we have covered so far, because what we are going to cover from today onwards is slightly different, right? So we have explored the front end of web application development. Okay. If you remember, I told you that there are three parts of any application development, right? The front end, the database, and the workflows which connects the both, right? And what we have done so far is mainly the front end. Okay, so we explored visual elements, we explored containers, we explored input forms, right? And just give me a minute. Oh, not this one. Just 1 minute, sorry. Okay. So we explored visual elements, we explored the containers, we explored the input forms. Okay, and we also saw how do we create responsive designs, okay, using groups, which comes in containers. We explored repeating group, which is meant for list of things, right, like an array. And then we explored pop-up, floating group, focus group, right? Table we have not explored, we will leave it for now, right? So are you all clear with the concept so far? Yes, no? Type in the chat box, please. Are you clear with the concepts? Hello, hello, hello. Please respond. If you all do not respond, then from next session onwards, we will not have live sessions, right? I'll just record and share the recording. Because it doesn't make sense for not having response from you guys and still have live sessions. People on Zoom, are you able to hear me? Okay, I'll also sit quiet. No energy exchange. I want everybody to respond before we get further. Otherwise, there is no point of doing live sessions, right? I can simply record whenever I'm free and share it with you guys. What's the point of doing a live session if you're not responding? So if you can hear me loud and clear, please type out LNC in the chat box. So I know that we can continue. Okay, we've got 4 people confirming. What about others? If you can hear me loud and clear, type out L and C in the chat box. Only 6 to 7 people confirmed. We are at least 28, 27, excluding me. Okay, now that you have confirmed you are able to hear me loud and clear, can you please confirm if all the concepts that we have covered so far is clear so far? Yeah. Yes, no. If you're not clear, you can put it no. That's fine. Okay. So let's get into the data structures, right? So today's topic is data types, option sets, and custom states. Yeah. So let's go take one at a time. Like I mentioned, what we have seen so far is just the front end. Now we are getting into the data types. Okay. And then we will slowly cover the workflows part, which will connect the front end and the data type. Okay. So database is over here, right? And we have several sub tabs in this particular section, right? So the first one is data types, where we can create types of data that we need. Okay. We have basic data types like text, number, date, Boolean, file, image, and so on and so forth. Here we can create custom data types, right? Which can hold multiple other basic data types or custom data types. Okay. Bubble would have created user as a default data type for any application that we create on Bubble, right? You can see that user data type is already available and email is default value for user data type in Bubble, right? You cannot exclude that. And any user who has to register on the portal, you have to use email ID for their registration. Okay. Now, a lot of times what happens is we want users to log in with their mobile number, right? We want to build an application where users can register with their mobile number. So what we have to do is on the front end, we can give the user enter the mobile number. Guys, please be on mute. Siddharth, Maria, you be on mute, please. Okay. So on the front end, we can give an option for users to input their mobile number. Okay. But while we are registering the user, we have to take that mobile number and append it with at anything.com. Okay. We will look into that further. I just gave you a tip as to how you can do that. If at all you need to do that, and if you're not yet clear, we will look into that whenever that situation comes. Okay. We have added a couple of more fields in the user data table. Those are name and date of birth. Okay. We can add a couple of more fields like profile picture. So you can see what are the basic types that we have, right? We have text, which we have seen in terms of name. We have number. Okay. It could be roll number. It could be any of the IDs that we are talking about. It could be OTP, right? Anything of that sort. Numeric range. Then we have date, date range, date interval. Okay. And then yes or no field, which is Boolean basically. File, image, and geographic address. Now in Bubble separates file and image. Okay. Anything that is image can be added in the image data type. Whereas anything apart from image, any files that we are talking about will go into file data type. Okay. So now profile picture is of image type. So we will use that. Click on create. Now, if you add image in the file data type, that's completely fine. Okay. But there are a few things that there are a few functions that we get for image, and that is possible only if the file is stored as image. Okay, not as a file. So created a profile pic. What are the other fields that we can create for a user? What are some of the other fields that we can create for user? Commonly used fields. Engage, guys, engage. Come on. Username. Okay. We can have username. And what is the type for username? What is the type for username? Email ID, phone number, username. Email ID is already there. Phone number we will add. Username we are adding. Address we will come to it. Yeah. So username is of type text, right? Next, we are talking about phone number or mobile number, whatever it is, right? Now, closely observe. I'm not going to store this as number. I'm going to store this as text. Any guesses why? Why am I storing the phone number as text and not as number? We might have to add plus. Yes, that's good. Right? Keep in mind that you store something as number generally only if you want to operate on top of it. Okay, when I say operate, if you're doing some mathematical operations on top of it, then you store it as number. Okay. Otherwise, it's always safe to store it as text. Okay. If you're doing some mathematical operations on top of it, then you store it as numbers because you want to sum it, you have to subtract it, right? If you're talking about quantity, then we need sum. If you're talking about total amount, then we need numbers, right? Phone number, we are not going to do any mathematical operation or something like that. Okay, it's like a string. Yeah, like a couple of you rightly mentioned. Okay, and that's why it's a text. Then we had address. Okay, and this would be this geographic address. And what else? Mobile number, username, email ID is already there. Password by default, right? Email ID and password is by default required if you want to register any user on Bubble. Okay, you cannot register user without email ID and password. And password will not be shown here, right? Bubble ensures that password is securely saved in their server and it will not even allow developers to see what the password is. Okay, and unless we do some blunders and ask the user to input something else and we are storing it in the database. Please be reminded that you should not be saving data passwords in the database in Bubble. Okay, Bubble takes care of it. A lot of people do not understand this, right? Recently, we were hiring a senior Bubble developer, and we faced this issue, right? He said that he's a senior developer, and we gave him a sample task to do some few things, and we saw that he was saving the password in the database as text. The moment I saw that, the interview was closed. Because password is very, very critical. And when an application like Bubble has a method where it stores the password securely, okay, it doesn't make any sense for us to save it in the database, no matter whatever logic you apply and stuff like that. Okay, so please keep this in mind. Very, very critical. We should not be saving passwords in our data types. Okay, it will be taken care by Bubble. Great. Okay, now we created a user data type was already available and we created a few fields in the user data table. Okay, now to understand this, what is it, connection, it's more like your Google Sheets. So if you go to sheets.new to create a new sheet, okay, think of this particular sheet name as user there here, right? And this could be email, this could be name, this could be date of birth, and then we have put mobile number, and then we have put address. What else did we add? Profile picture, right? So a table in Bubble's database, okay, or data type in Bubble is nothing but a spreadsheet kind of thing, a table, right? We have user table, then we have email, name, date of birth, mobile number, address, and profile picture as different columns. Okay. And that's why if we go to app data, we'll come to privacy a bit later. Okay. We are going to app data, and app data has all the records available. So if you see email ID, right, we have address, we have date of birth, the name, phone number, profile picture, username. And this has been created for like hundreds of users who have registered on this portal. Right? So this is nothing but a table with the different columns, just like we see in the Google Sheets. Okay. Now let's try to create a data type for assignments. Okay. So tell me, what are the columns that we need for assignments? You get assignments from your teachers, lecturers, right? So what are the fields that we need for assignments? Marks, student name. Okay. Let's say student name. Marks will come at the end. What is USN number? Subject. Due date. I don't understand etc. here. We cannot create a column called etc. So please be specific. Name is the student name, right? What is USN number? University seat number. Okay. Ideally, university seat number is connected to users, right? Not the assignments. Let's go here. Assignment. Correct. University seat number is connected to the user. Is that right? Hello. Is that right? So that needs to be created in the user data table, right? So we can add that also here. USN number, which is a text field. What about assignments? Student, name, subject, due date. What else? What else should be added in assignment? Topic, great. This should have been the first column, but anyways, finally somebody mentioned that. What else? What else is required for assigning a assignment? Submitted date. Okay, again, that's late. Internal marks. Marks I've added. Faculty name. Okay. Let's say faculty name. What else? So let's say student name, we add student 1. Subject is, let's say, mathematics. Okay, due date, let's say 12/04/2025. Topic, let's say algebra. Okay, faculty name, let's say faculty 1. Is this sufficient for you to finish your assignment and submit and get marks? Is this sufficient for assignment? There is one very critical thing that you have missed out. What is that? The roll number. Roll number of whom? Marks. Max marks. Not really. Okay, let's assume that I add max marks. Will you be able to complete the assignment? So let's say I add max marks. Will you be able to complete the assignment? This is your assignment. Let's say max mark is 50. Can you complete the assignment? Can we complete the assignment with just this data? Hello, hello, hello. Abhilash, why will you put a USN number in the assignment? USN number is for students, right? That is already added in students data table. Guys, think about it. Even if I add USN number, will you be able to finish your assignment? There is a specific reason why I'm wanting to hear this from you. Can you finish the assignment if I give you this much details? Topic description. What is the assignment all about? Without the description, how can you finish the assignment? Now, once these details are there, then you can think about submitted date and marks and all of that. Clear? Is this clear so far? Now we are going to break this down into multiple data types. I'll tell you why, and I'll also tell you why, how do we break it down. Okay. Class versus section of the student. See, class and section of the student and everything is related to a student, nothing to do with assignment. Yeah. Class is of a student. Section is again of a student, right? So those things needs to get into your what to say user data table. Or if you feel that there are a lot of students, there are a lot of sections and a lot of class and stuff like that, then you can create a separate data table for that and then link that to multiple users. Okay. So we will understand how do we create data types. Okay. All the examples that you're giving are very good examples. Okay. Basis this, we will understand how do we structure the data. Okay. So now let's understand what are the things that is specifically meant for assignment, right? The topic is what is a assignment thing, right? The description is also specific to assignment. Okay, marks also could be. Now, if you're talking about class, section, and a few other details, which could be common for multiple students, right? Then we can create a new data type for that particular thing. Okay. User in Bubbles world is any user who is going to use the application. If the application is meant for college, then we might have students, we might have lecturers, professors, teachers, whatever you call them as, right? You can have HODs, you can have management people, right? All of them will be users. Any user who is going to use this particular application will fall under user, right? Their registration will happen via this data type itself. Okay. So if there are any specific detail for students, then you can put it in the new data type called student details and link that to this particular, what is it, user type. For example, USN number, right? So let's understand this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create something called user detail. Sorry, student detail, right? What are the fields that we can create here, which are specific for students and not for lecturers, teachers, HODs, management? What are the specific details that we can put in student details? USN, very good. USN will be put here. We will make it as text. Okay, what else? Who is this user to? What else can we put in student details data type? Admission date, very good. Which is of type? Date. What else? What else can we have for students? Name is already added in the user field. Section, okay, good. Section can be a text field. What else? Semester, okay. Semester can also be a number, by the way. So I'll create semester as number. I'll tell you why. Okay, so text field I'm going to delete. Okay, the reason I'm going to make semester as number is because even though we will not make mathematical operations directly, but after each semester, we want them to go to the next semester. Okay, so what I can do is I can take the existing semester and add +1 to it, and that becomes their next semester. Yeah. CGPA. Okay. I'll create CGPA for over here for now, but we'll have to shift it. Okay, I believe this is number. Okay, branch, we will come to it a bit later, Sania. Yeah. Anything else that we can add it over here? Anything else that we can add over here for student details? Okay, let's freeze it over here. Graduating year. Okay, we can have it. That's okay. Yeah, because we have admission date, and so graduation year would generally be 4 years from your admission date. That's okay. We can add it, we can skip it, right? Now, let's do some experiment, right? Do you all remember your email ID and password for this particular application? Yes, no, type in the chat box. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly create a new page, and I'm going to add this as student detail. Right? And I'm going to add a group. If you're not following what I'm doing right now, that's fine. I'm just going to quickly do this. And I'm going to give you an input field where you can add a branch. I'm going to show this particular group. So make this as column. I'm going to show this particular group only if you are logged in. Current user is logged in, and I will show this. I'll add some padding on the top 50, left 50. Then this comes over here. I'll also give you a button here which will save. Just quickly, if you are not understanding what I'm doing, completely fine, ignore it. Right? I want to show you something, and that's why I'm preparing some page. So when we click on save, we're going to do is we are going to create a new thing which will be student details. And okay, branch. Let me add a branch as text also. I'm going to add a branch which will be text. I'm going to add this branch over here. This is our input. Type your branch value. Okay, and we're going to link this to the current user. So for that, what I'm going to do is closely observe. I'm going to user and I'm going to create a new field. Okay. And this time I'm going to say linked detail or linked student detail. And this will be student detail. So until now, we have always linked the basic type like text, number, date, image, right? Geographic address, and so on and so forth. This is the first time we are creating a data type a field which is linked to another data type. Is this clear? Are you able to follow, everyone? Okay. So what we are doing is we are creating a field in user table. Okay. The name of this I am going to mention as linked student details. This name can be anything, right? This you just have to understand what this stands for. Okay. And that's why always try to give descriptive names where if you read the name, you should understand what exactly it is, right? So linked student detail and field type is student detail. Okay, so I've linked that. So what I'm going to do in the workflow is here I'm going to say this is current user and change another field, linked student detail, right? So we created the new student detail whenever you have entered the branch on the front end. And then I'm going to link this in the step two, I'm going to link the newly created student details data to the current user, right? So type to change is current user and linked student details is result of step one. Okay, I'll repeat this once you link your branch. So what we can do is just give me a minute. Okay, this is fine, right? So I'm going to preview this one. So I'm not logged in, so it will not show me anything. So let me log in as abcd@7.com. So I'm logging in as that particular user. So it's asking me for a branch. I'll put E and click on save. Let's quickly check if something happened here. Okay. So linked student details is added and my branch is added as E and E. So what I want you guys to do is go to the register page where we have login, I believe. Yeah, login is there. So I'm going to share this link with you. Right. So I've added the link in both YouTube and Zoom. Please open this link, log in, not register. I believe all of you have already registered. So please log in. Okay. Okay. Let me just log in. Clicked. Then you should be navigating to student details. Yeah. So please log in. It will take you to the student details page and enter your branch. Enter your branch, click on save, and once you're done, please type done in the chat box. And for those of you who do not remember your password, let me send you to print details. Yeah. So for those of you who do not remember your password, please use send magic link option. Type your email ID here, click on send magic link. You'll get a link to your email address. Click on that. You will be logged in, right? So use either of these options. And once you're done, please type out done in the chat box. Thank you, Ayush, for the confirmation. Oh, Ayush deleted that message. So it's still not done, I guess. I see so many of you have done here, but nobody has responded done in the chat box yet. Thank you, Shiva. Thank you, Pranav, for the confirmation. Why do I feel it's from the same news? Oh, click the button only once, guys. Don't do it like multiple times. Just click on it once. I mean, I should have given a confirmation message, but just click on it once and it will get saved. Don't worry. I see that everybody has done it 4 5s. Some of them are like, do it again and again. Okay, anyways, let me not share this thing because Google will then not allow this video to be shown on YouTube. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people have done. Why are you so slow? Thank you, Arjun Karthik, for the confirmation. Thank you, Preran, Ayush. Let me remove the created one. Okay, this is fine. Come on, come on, come on. Please do it fast. There is a reason why I've asked you to do this. It is showing that this application is at its limit for number of things in the database. Oh, how can that be? We have hardly 105 plus 90. Are you getting that detail? Everyone? Radio plan. We still have a lot of space. But anyways, I have other things. Let's should not be a problem. Only thing you will have to do now is I'll show you. When you load the page now, okay, there'll be a pop-up that comes in. Please pay close attention here. Okay, there is a pop-up that opens up. It'll ask you for the username and password. This is not your email ID and password. Okay, put U as the username and P as the password and click on sign in. Okay, this is not signing in your account that you have created on Bubble. This is just allowing you to use the front end. Okay, so for those of you who are getting this issue or anybody who's going to use this application any further, you have to use U and P as username and password on the pop-up. And once the page loads, you can use your email ID and password or send magic link. Yeah, please get this done fast. Hello everyone, don't be so slow. Yeah, come on. You just have to log in and update one field. Why do you need so much time? Are you done? Hardly 10 people have responded done. The rest of them? Okay, great. So let's come back to the database app data and let's see what all has been inputted, right? So we've got AIML, we have got IAS, we have got AIML, right? So CSC AIML. So AIML and CSC AIML is different or one and the same? Same? Okay. Thank you for helping me with that, right? So I'm going to admin page, and like we had user table added, I'm going to add one more repeating group below to that. And this time I'm going to make it as text field, right? If you're not understanding, do not worry. This is just for me to show you something, right? So each items branch unique elements. And then I'm going to add text here. And I'm going to show current cells text. So let's preview this. Okay, so we've got E and E, which I added. Then we have CSE, we have AIML, we have computer science, we have AIML, we have CS, we have CSE AIML, and then we have AIML. How many branch students do we have right now in this particular group? 3 branches. Okay. And what are those? CS, IS, AIML, right? So we have 3 branches, but here we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and I think nobody from IS has inputted their what to say branch. Yeah, even then we have 7 branches added. How do you ensure that people will just type whatever you want? So for example, if we have 3 branches, then people are supposed to select only out of those 3, not randomly write anything, right? Because as we can see, when you allow the users to type, okay, each user will have different way of putting things up, right? So somebody has put up in full, somebody has put up CSE, right? And then we have CS, then we have CSE AIML. Okay. So what we can do in this case is we can go and create option sets. Okay. What are option sets? You can create the list options that you need for users to select from, right? And you use option set only when you know there are limited options available. Okay. So for example, branches, right? Now, from this particular group, we know that only 3 branches students have joined. Okay. So what we can do is we can go here, create a branch, and I'm going to create options available here. Okay. We can make it as CS. We can make it as IS, AIML. Okay. Likewise, we can also create gender, right? Male, male. We can also add do not refer to specify. What are the options that we can think of? Which will, so there are a few options which will never change. Okay, there are a few options which may change once in a while. Okay, I'll give you one of the options which will never change until unless something goes completely, something different happens, right? So weeks of the day, right? I'll put weekdays. So we have only 7. No matter whoever is using it across the globe, the options will remain this 7. Yes. What are other options that you can think of which will never change no matter from wherever the users are using? Date of birth. Date of birth is different for every user. Name is different for every user. Oh, come on, guys, don't get confused. We are talking about options available, right? Gender we have already created, boss. Gender we have already created. Weekdays. So no matter whoever is registering on the portal or whoever is using the portal, the weekdays for them will remain the same. It is Sunday to Saturday, right? 7 days. So like this, what do you think are the options available which will not change? Bulk actions. When did they introduce this? Okay. This is separate. Oh. Yep. What are the options? Think of it. I've given weekdays. There is something very similar to this weekdays. The options for this will never change. Month, right? So we have Jan, Feb, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December. Yeah. So now we have these options. Now I'll do one thing. Let's go to the same page, which is student details, right? And instead of this particular text box that we had, I'll delete this. I'll add a drop down. So we saw the drop down element when we were looking at the input elements, right? We had static choice. We have already seen that, right? We have seen static choice already. We have dynamic choice. Now I'll firstly show you with static choice and then we will go to dynamic choice. Okay. Now if we have only 3 branches, then I could well go and do this as CS, IS, and AIML. Sorry, next slide. Okay. And I can ask you to choose one from this. And then when we click on save, we can directly go to the user and make this as drop down ACE value. Okay. I'll show you something. I'll go to this particular page. Now I've got 3 choice, so there is no room for error, right? I have to choose one of these 3. Let me click on AIML, click on save. Okay. So when I go to my app data, the first so this particular record, why did this not get changed? What am I logged in as? Or it will create a new one. Correct. So this particular one is created by me. Okay, abcd@red7.com. And the branch is AIML. But if I go and change this option now, right? So let's say if AIML is being called now in full, right? Artificial. Okay, we are going to call this in full. If I change here, my branch that I updated here will not change. Okay. So few of them have updated. So let me go here. No, this is also not mine. I don't know. So that will not get changed. But let me make this particular drop down as dynamic. And now I will use option sets. So until now, we were only able to see the data types that we had created and basic types that Bubble gives us. Now, because we have created option sets, we will also be able to see option sets here. Okay. So I'll click on branch. So branch is the option set that we have chosen. Now it asks us what is the choices source. If you remember in the repeating group that we had added in the admin portal, right? We had to give what is the type of content and what is the data source. And for data source, we had do a search for user type, right? We had not added any constraints. We had gotten all the users from the data type database. Now, if you go to student details, right, in the drop down, so we have selected branch as of our type of choice. Now I'll click on all branch, which means all the data that we have created in the option set will be given as option. Okay. Now option caption, you select current options display. Okay. We will come to that a bit later as to what is display and what are the other attributes that we can create and so on and so forth. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is click on save. Then everybody has got their, what is that called? Student details created. So I'm going to directly make current users. Okay, linked student detail is getting changed. And what are we doing here? Branch. And branch is being updated from dropdown A's value. Now this will throw us error because we have not linked the student details branch to option set, right? It is still linked to text. So I'm going to create a new field and I am going to link this to branch, right? And the field type will be option set branch, right? Let me quickly go to the, so you see here, the branch is linked to branch. So the text one, I'm going to delete this. Okay. Just to make it easier, I'm going to, the option set, I'm changing this name to OS branch. Okay. OS branch stands for option set branch. OS gender, I'm going to change this to OS month and OS weekday. So when I come to data type, you can see branch is linked to OS branch. Okay. Now I'll come back to the workflow. I'll make this as branch equals to dropdown A's value. See the beauty. Now I'm going to the page. I'm going to select one of this. Let's say IS this time. I'll click on save. So when I come back to the data, app data, right? IS is already selected here. Okay. For my record, if I go here, you can see abcd@7.com. Now the beauty is if I go to option set and OS branch and change this to information science, right? I just change the option from IS to information science. If I go to app data, this is automatically updated. So all the students who selected branch as information science, their data will be automatically updated without us having to do anything. Okay, so you update it in one place and it will get reflected in all the places where it is being used. Okay. Now, even if I go to the front end and look for this drop down, this is changed to information science. Got it? Everyone, is this clear? Okay. So wherever possible, use option sets. Okay. Rather than static choices. Right. So I showed you an example with static choice before this, right? Where you could just give the options directly over here. And then I showed you the dynamic choices option as well. You already saw what is the advantage of using dynamic choices and using option set, right? If you think that there are, what to say, there are things that will keep updating every now and then, right? Don't use option set for that. Okay. Use option set for things that will not change over time or that will not change like always. There could be a scenario that we might have one more branch added, right? That's fine. I can directly go over here and say E and E. Okay. But if this branch changing happens every day, then this is not a good option. Okay. Then I should not be using option set. I have to use data types because option sets cannot be changed from the front end. We can create any record, any data type, right? From the front end. But option set only developers can change, whoever has access to the application. Getting it? Is this clear, everyone? Put +1 in the chat box if you're clear with what is option set and when to use it. Meghna, make a note of people who are responding regularly. We'll give certificates only to them. Only 6, 7 people put +1. Others, -1. Hello, hello, hello. If you didn't understand, then put -1. That's fine. Okay. Now coming back, subject could also be option sets. Okay. Now, if we have to create this particular data type, assignment data type, then what we can do is go to data types and let's create something called assignment. Okay. Now, subject, if we have a lot of subjects and we keep changing the names of the subject, then it is better to put it in data type. If it is constant and changes once in a while, then we can create it as option set. Okay. Now we can create one as assigned date, right? When was the assignment assigned? This could be date field. Then we can have a due date. Which is also a date field. We can have the topic or title of the assignment, which is text field. Then we can have one more field, which is description or details of the assignment, which is also a text field. Okay. So what all we have got done, due date we have got done. So I'll just mark this as yellow. We've got topic, yellow, description, yellow. Subject we have not yet got done. Okay. Max marks, okay. Put it over here. Number. So this we can. Okay. Now, subject we can add. Student name will not be adding here. I'll tell you why. Faculty name we can add. Okay. Now, faculty is also a user because they are going to use the application. Right? So assignment, what we can do is create a new field and faculty is a user. Okay. The only thing that we have to do is in the user table, we have to identify who is the faculty and who is the user, who is the student. Right. And for that, I'm going to option set. I'm going to create user role and one will be student, one will be faculty. Okay, we can have HOD, we can have what else? Management, right? And then I'll go to user data type and then create a role, right? Which will be OS user role. So I'll change this to OS user role just to avoid confusion. Is this clear, everyone? Now I can go here and create a let's say faculty one role and make it as faculty, right? And email could be faculty one. I'll create one more record similarly. Faculty two, role is faculty and faculty two. So assignment, we have made it as faculty, we have made it as user. So that's also taken, this one, that's also taken care of. Okay. Now the only thing remaining is subject. Like I mentioned, we can put subject in OS. OS. Subject. Maths. Science. What else? Physics. AI. ML. Yeah, you can put whatever subjects we want here. And then in the assignment, we can link that as well. Subject is OS subject. So we have got this one done as well. Now the student name, submitted date and marks we will not add it in the assignment field because we need each student's assignment details, right? So for that, we have to create one more data type, right? Which is called assignment submitted. Okay, or we can call it as students assignments. And here we are going to create field. Who is the student? Again, student is a user. Okay. Then we put submitted date, which is a date field. Then, as you mentioned, marks, which is a number. There is one more field that we have to create, which is very, very important. Can you all guess which one? Have to create one more field here. Which is that? So let me help you with some example. Okay, so I'm going to remove this from here. I'm going to remove this from here, right? And let's assume that we've got like 10 assignments like this. Okay, different due date, different subject, different topic, let's say different faculty, different description. Marks can be same or different, whatever it is. Okay, now here I'm making it a student assignment, right? So here we are making student name, submitted date, marks. We need one more column here, okay, because each student will not just be attempting one assignment, or rather, each student will be given multiple assignments. Is that correct? True or false? Yeah. So each student will be working on multiple assignments. Okay. Now, if I say this is Abhilash, okay, submitted date, let's say on 24th of March 2025. Marks is, let's say, 45. Do we know which assignment was this submitted for, and for which assignment did he get 45? So what do we need? One more column is missing. What is that column? Instead of subject name, right? What we will do is we will directly link to assignment. So we'll create one more field called linked assignment. And this will be linked to the assignment itself, right? So if required, we can get the entire assignment details and not just the topic. Got it? So we are not just creating tables in Google Sheets, okay, but we are actually creating database. Yeah. And when we are creating structured database, we can link one data type to another. So basically what we are doing here is in the student's assignment, we are linking it to assignment. Okay. So from this linked assignment, we can actually get all the details of that particular assignment. Are you getting this? So did you understand how do we create data types? How do we link different data types to each other? How do we create option sets? How do we link the option set into the data type? Is this clear? Okay, great then. Thank you so much. That's all we had for today. Of course, custom states we could have covered if we could get faster responses, but we will open up Q&A for now. We will cover custom states in the upcoming sessions. Yeah, so please type out your questions if you have any, or for those of you who have joined on Zoom, you can also unmute and ask your questions, and I'll be more than happy to answer them. While mentioning linked, it will fetch from Excel sheet. No, no, no. Excel and this thing has no connection at all, right? I just showed you the Google Sheets just as an example. Google Sheets has nothing to do with what we create here. Don't get confused. Yeah. And this need not be linked always. I can mention this as map assignment, right? Or I can just mention assignment. Or I can mention like ABCD also. That's also fine. Okay. My way of mapping to different data type is linked assignment, right? So the linked keyword tells me that it is linked to some other data type. Okay. And then after underscore, whatever is the name, we know that it is linked to that particular data type. It's just a naming convention, nothing else. This can be ABCD, it can be MNOP, right? It can be anything. Just give meaningful names so that you understand what does that stand for. Is this clear? Any other questions, anybody? Don't drop off. We still have something major to announce. So please do not drop off. Okay, no questions from anyone. I'll wait for 2 more minutes. If there are no more questions, then I'll announce something and then we can wind up. Okay, no questions coming up. So I believe there are no questions. So I'm not sure how many of you have been following our YouTube channel, uh, but how many of you are using AI? I mean, a lot of you are from AI ML, I understand, but how many of you are using AI tools on a regular basis? Okay, two, three. And for those of you who are using AI tools, are these like ChatGPT and common tools, or are you using some deep tech tools like image generation and video generation or code generation and all of this? What is your major use case? Common tools. How many of you want to learn some deep tech tools for image generation, video generation, code generation, PPT? Only three? Four, five? Okay, so we're going to start a YouTube series, okay, for 100 days where we are going to teach you about AI tools, okay, in where short videos, like 5 minutes each a day, right? So you just watch it, understand how to use the tool, you, what is it, try it out, and then share like what you've learned. Okay, this is not like a cohort as we are doing right now. It will not be like 1.5 hour session or something like that. It's just 5 minutes each day video. Okay, so just watch it on our YouTube channel, replicate whatever you understand from it. Okay, and share it in the community as to what you have understood, what did you try, what was the output, and so on and so forth. And if you're stuck, you can put it in the community, and others will help you get through. Okay, does that make sense? How many of you would be interested in this journey? You don't have to spend too much time, right? Just 5 minutes of video every day. Yeah. So for those of you who are interested, Meghna will get in touch with you. I mean, just to share you the YouTube link and a couple of other things. It is not a paid one. It is nothing to do with this particular cohort, right? This is just an additional thing that we are doing as a part, as you being a part of our community. Okay. Yep. So that's all we have for today. Thank you everyone for joining in. I hope it was helpful, and looking forward for the next session, which is on Friday. And this Saturday also we have a session. Thank you everyone. Have a nice evening.